listening to State of Arrest with me, Attorney William Moore. And I've also got DUI Defense Attorney William Dorenzo in with me as always. And more changes to the DMV. Bill isn't here to talk to us about even more changes to the Board of Administrative Reviews. That's the administrative agency that you go before when you've gotten a DUI, and you can challenge your hardship, you can challenge your DUI suspension, you can apply for hardship license. There's been many changes. We're just going to do a recap of that because they're streamlining it even further, aren't they, Bill?
They are streamlining it further. I was surprised to find out, as I was talking to one of my contacts over there, they are closing a lot of the local offices, and they are, I guess, as you said, streamlining things. For example, Palm Beach used to have their own office, Broward used to have their own office, Dade County used to have their own office. Down in the Tri-County area, the Palm Beach office has recently closed. All of their administrative hearings are now being handled in Broward County. So if you get arrested in Palm Beach County, you now have to come down to Broward County to take care of your license, whether you want to get a hardship, whether you want to apply for a formal review hearing. That office is totally closed in Palm Beach and it's done in Broward now.
Now, from a legal perspective, from defending these things, you don't have to appear. Let's take hearings.
Okay.
Right? You don't apply for hearings on these things most of the time anymore, do you?
Well, most of the time, if it's a first-time arrest for DUI, and the DMV has it as a first-time arrest, a lot of people choose to go in and simply get a hardship license because it's easier. They're guaranteed that they are going to be able to continue to drive for the length of their suspension, being that it's limited to work purposes, religious purposes, medical purposes, things like that. But they are guaranteed that they can drive. So a lot of people choose to go and get that hardship license in the beginning. But another option you still have is you can still apply for the formal review hearing. Now, years ago, and I don't even remember how many years ago it was changed. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
You had 6 years ago, right?
It could have been 6.
I
don't even remember. But you always had, if you were arrested for a DUI, you had to apply for a formal review hearing. They changed it, and they now give the first
10 days to apply.
You got it. Mm-hmm.
And there was no risk in applying for the formal review hearing because you'd have to do your hard time. Explain what hard time is.
Well, hard time, if you get arrested for DUI, they're going to suspend your license if you blow above the legal limit, or if you refuse a breath test, they will suspend your license. If you blow above the legal limit, you're going to get a 6-month suspension for your first blow above the legal limit, a 1-year suspension for a subsequent. If you refuse, you're going to get a 1-year suspension for your first refusal and an 18-month suspension if it's if a subsequent refusal.
6 years ago, when you'd apply for your hardship license, you'd have to go without for a period of 1 month to 3 months, right?
You would have to apply for a formal review hearing. They would give you a temporary permit, which would be good for 45 days. And then if you won, you got your license back. And if you lost, then you get that hard time, which means you cannot drive, you cannot get a hardship license. You are shut down for a hard time period. If it was a breath test, it was 30 days. If it was a refusal, it was 90 days.
Right. And as incentive to stop lawyers, people charged with applying for administrative review hearings, they then made it very easy just to get your license straight up, your hardship license straight up without any hard time.
Oh yeah, you can go in there 2 days after your arrest and you can get a hardship license that will be good for the entire length of your suspension.
They also streamlined the administrative review offices by sort of giving police officers an unlimited amount of continuances, where that used to be what we'd rely on.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you that had a DUI going back over 6 years, and your lawyer would come back and did such a stellar job for you because they got your license suspension overthrown most of the time, it was because the officer just didn't come in.
Could have been as easy as that. Yeah, you
most of the time,
they
right.
didn't show up, and there you go, your license is back to you.
That was great. Those were the heyday.
Yeah,
that's the
they say
heyday of
the good old
DUIs.
days, yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, but the same token, now that you can get a driver's license without the 30-day, 290-day hard time, no driving whatsoever period. That's really some incentive, and has definitely cut back the amount of administrative review hearings. People appear by, when I say people, lawyers, officers, everyone can appear by phone now, right?
And now it's interesting that you bring that point up. But so now that Palm Beach's hearings are done in Broward County, if you subpoena an officer in Palm Beach, they're not going to have to drive down to the hearing in Broward County. They can simply pick up the phone as long as they have another officer to swear them in Palm Beach County. They can appear by phone now.
What about Broward County officers? Do they have to appear in person, or do they appear by phone too?
I think they can get special permission to appear by telephone, but I think still generally speaking they have to appear.
Okay.
But it's going to make it much more difficult. So listen, if an officer's there, they can just stay right up there, get sworn in, have the hearing in 5 minutes. They don't have to drive here. It's much easier for them now.
Right.
It's much more convenient for them.
And how long have attorneys been appearing by phone?
We've been doing it for a few years now. I mean, 2, 3, 4 years. They've been allowing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before they were a lot stricter, but now
Just kind of sort of became the commonplace,
yeah,
right?
it's commonplace now.
Lawyers would call in, and I remember we would call in, and if I had a conflict, the court hearing, I could appear by phone as long as I had an excuse.
Yep.
Then it just sort of everyone said, hey, this is working out pretty well, so
All you have to do is make a request now.
right, just make a request.
the day before, and they will allow you to appear by phone.
All right, yeah, major changes in the lot over the past couple of years. There's always been changes with DUIs ever since, gosh, going back to pre-80s. But we, like I said, we've seen some changes for the better as far as defendants are concerned,
Yeah.
especially with the admin review hearings. All right, Bill, thanks so much for coming in.
You got it.
Thanks for talking with us. And until next time, you've been listening to State of Arrest with me, William Moore, DUI defense attorney William Dorenzo. Until next time, thanks.
Thanks. Those things always go so easy.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
Stop.